Hi, and welcome to episode number 2. I just smacked into the mic, sorry about that. Yes, we are doing stories from scratch. This is the second episode, and we're actually going to get into a little bit of storytelling today, so I'm excited for that. But first, I want you to give a little quick recap. I chose out of a hat that we were going to be telling a paranormal story. Creepiness, which is very appropriate for Halloween. I then picked out that it happens in South America. Yes, it does. It happens at some point dealing with the present and the future. I did figure out how to handle that. But first, I want to touch on the South American aspect really quickly. It's kind of fortuitous, I guess, or just really awesome that I picked that location marker for the story that I'm going to be telling improv here live because we are still in Latinx Heritage Month. September 15th through October 15th. It is the 11th, so there's still a few more days of that going on. So it's really kind of cool that I picked South America to talk about since we're celebrating Latin, Hispanic heritage and backgrounds. And Latinx specifically focuses on indigenous populations. So I'm actually going to be addressing some of that, bringing some of that out in the story that I'm going to be telling. It's also kind of cool because I'm recording this. I don't know why I'm talking so fast because I have a lot to say. I'm recording this right after watching Voto Latino and March for Science. They got together with the cast of I Can't Separate These, Dazed and Confused. So I just finished watching the table read of Dazed and Confused. It was a really great little performance that they did for the really worthy cause. So they were raising money for both of these groups, which are really pushing to make sure that people have the opportunity to vote during the upcoming November 3rd election. Get out, vote. Most states have options that you can choose from, so you can figure out which is the best fit for you, but make sure that your voice is heard. I'm also sending letters through Vote Forward to people who we think might be a little hesitant to vote, or they think I didn't do anything. So hopefully, again, really encouraging people figure out how you can volunteer, figure out how you can help out to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to provide their voice in the November elections. So all of that is kind of background. I'm very excited to announce that I have narrowed down our setting for our story. It is going to take place during the World Cup in 2030 in Argentina and Uruguay. Now, where the World Cup in 2030 is actually being held has not been decided yet, but I will tell you, coincidentally enough, because I'm psychic now, Argentina and Uruguay 3 days ago announced that they are joining a bid with Paraguay and Chile to try to have the World Cup hosted in their backyards. And of course, the World Cup before this one will happen is going to be here in the United States, so that's very exciting. And 2030 is kind of also an auspicious year because in 1930, Uruguay won its first World Cup. And I went this direction, so in the last video you heard me talking a lot about the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incans. Those are kind of the typical groups when we think about Mesoamerica and anything kind of like supernatural, kind of again leaning toward the paranormal side. And we also think about like traditions like Day of the Dead and things like that. And I always try in my writing to do something that's a little different than the ordinary, and Uruguay is one of my favorite countries. I'd love to go there someday. So I picked Uruguay and started doing research about them. So I'm very excited to do more research about them. I'm sure I'll mess a bunch of stuff up. That's why you're here, is to tell me the stuff that you like and that's going well, and the things that you're like, no, you said that wrong, or no, that's not what that's like. So hopefully we'll get some fans. So after I settled on my setting, I had to think about my characters, and I wanted a group of young college students. So these are going to be people who are juniors in college who are going to the World Cup. And so I had to do some math. Yes, math in writing, it's a thing. And I had to figure out when they were born. So if they were 21 in the 2030 World Cup year, they would have been born in 2009. So real math in real life, people. Well, in fictional life, really, but yes, there's math and writing. And so then I wanted to put together our characters, and I'll be introducing them as we go through the story. So we'll spend the next 5 minutes telling you a little bit about the story. I'm sure there will be bloopers and funny things that, will be a mess. I'm just making sure my microphone's not actually hitting my leg, because that would be bad. All right. So here we go. It's always, okay, I'll be honest, it's really rough to figure out where to start. And when you go back and edit something, you almost always change your start point of a story. So I hate starting. I literally don't want to start this right now. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Sorry about that. Outside of the hotel was a patio with wooden chairs that scraped over the concrete pebbles as, for our first two characters, I don't know why I'm getting out the cards. And now I can't hold on to them. I quit. Okay. So, wooden chairs scraped over concrete as Lena and Chloe sat down. The surrounding walls of all of the stucco buildings were painted in beautiful colors, mostly of light sky blue and white. Chloe leaned back in her chair. "It's beautiful," she said, not convinced at all by the glory of everything around her as the sun started to set over the back sides of the buildings. "You're freezing, aren't you?" Lena said, looking at the goosebumps on Chloe's outstretched arms. "Yes. It was supposed to be a summer vacation." "Well, it was a summer vacation when we left home, but it's winter in South America because it's on the other side of the equator. I told you that before you left." Lena didn't disguise the irritation in her voice. She tapped her fingers on the wooden table. She didn't like being kept waiting, and she'd been waiting for far too long. Chloe sighed. "It's fine. It's not like I need that many extra layers. It's not that cold. And I'll freeze to death going clubbing anyway. Like always. It's no different from being back home." That was true enough. Clubbing in... Oh my gosh, I didn't pick a school for them to... I didn't pick a school. I at least have to pick a state. This is what happens when you're a writer. This is what writer's block literally looks like. It's you sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to pick something." I'm almost out of time for this round too. So they're gonna be from Loyola. They're gonna be from Loyola. They're gonna be frozen bunnies out of Chicago. So Chicago in winter on the club scene didn't look any different from Chicago in August when school started. It was all short skirts and sheer tops and high heels with toes sticking through, ducking in and out of slushy puddles of winter mush. Lena had developed an extraordinarily thick skin for freezing to death, and this would be no different. And that is all the time we have for, and I promise I will get better at this once we get past the first, yep, thing. We're gonna try again in 2 days. So this will come out Monday. So really, it's gonna be because I'm filming them at night. So Monday night is when this will come out, and the next one will come out Wednesday night. See you then. Bye.